God's unique plan for world renewal. 11th lesson. Kalpa tree. This world in the form of the Kalpa tree is a unique tree because unlike the other trees, the seed of this tree isn't below but above. No one else other than the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul Shiv himself, who remains in the stage of being in the supreme abode, through Prajapita Brahma, is the imperishable and living seed of this tree-like human world, and his creation is shown beneath him. The Supreme Father Shiv, who is the father of the incorporeal souls, speaks through the lotus-like mouth of the father of the corporeal human beings, Prajapita Brahma. I am the imperishable seed of this world in the form of the Kalpa tree. And just like the essence of the tree is contained in an ordinary seed, similarly, the knowledge of the beginning, middle, and the end of this tree-like world is contained in me. When this tree deteriorates, I myself come, and through true knowledge and Rajyog, I sow the seed, or plant the sapling of this tree once again. This upside-down tree has been shown upright in the picture just for the purpose of explanation. At the very bottom of this tree, the confluence of the end of the Iron Age and the beginning of the Golden Age has been shown. When this tree deteriorates at the end of the Iron Age, in order to plant the sapling of the ancient deity religion, the Supreme Father Shiv himself, who is the seed of this tree, enters the body of Prajapita Brahma and gives the knowledge of the Gita, that is the knowledge about the beginning, middle and end of this world, through his lotus-like mouth, and teaches Rajyog. Jagdamba, the world mother, and the pure Mukvanshavali Brahmins, who are also known as Prajapita Brahma Kumar Kumaris or Shiv Shakti Pandav, are created through this knowledge. This very period of God Shiv's incarnation at the end of the cycle is called the Confluence Age or the Age of the Gita. The Confluence Age is followed by Satyug, and after that the Treta Yuga begins. They can be called the Golden Age and the Silver Age of the Indian history, because at that time, every human being is a deity. It has been said in the chapter of the world drama wheel that there is an unshakable, undivided, trouble-free, happy and peaceful empire of the Suryavanshi Lakshmi Narayan and their successors in the Golden Age, and of those belonging to the Moon dynasty, that is Sita Ram and their successors in the Silver Age. There exists only one religion, the ancient deity religion there. It was the system for leading a life full of divine virtues and free from all kinds of external ostentations. Unlike the situation nowadays, religion and politics didn't exist separately there. Both the powers, that is religious and political powers, were only in the hands of Lakshmi Narayan and Sitaram. That's why there was no need of ministers, royal advisors, judges and commanders there. There were neither doctors nor advocates there, because there was no trace of vices there. There was only one kingdom, one religion, one opinion, one language, and one clan in heaven. And this heaven existed only in Bharat, or in other words, Bharat alone was the world, because the other continents were submerged in the sea. That Bharat itself is called Vaikunt, Bahisht, or heaven. This period can be called the beginning of the Kalpa tree. After that, when the soul-conscious deities become body-conscious and start following the left path, that is when they become vicious, the copperage, or the middle part of the Kalpa tree begins. The deities become corrupt in their actions as well as in their religion. Bharatvasis, who forget the creator of the deity religion, were then called Hindus. At such time, the soul of Abraham, a religious father, comes from the supreme abode, enters an Indian, and establishes Islam. However, because they don't give importance to purity, the followers of this religion are forced to emigrate to the West, where the religious land of Islam, the Arab countries, will have emerged from the ocean with the beginning of the copperage. After Abraham, many prophets came. Among them, one is Jesus Christ, who established Christianity 2000 years ago. Actually, like Abraham, the soul of Christ also comes from the supreme abode and enters a human being, Jesus, to establish its religion. This religion flourishes in Europe, which can be called the religious land of Christians. Meanwhile, here, in India, after the initial 250 years of the beginning of the cooperage, the soul of Mahatma Buddha comes from the supreme abode, enters the body of a prince named Siddhartha and establishes Buddhism. Although this religion prospers in India in the beginning, it soon witnesses downfall here, and it prospers in the countries northeast of India, like China, Japan, etc., which can be called as the religious land of Buddhism. In the last part of the cooperage, that is, 6th century, a religious father arrives from the supreme abode to end the religious disturbance and animosity in India. Actually, it was the soul of Shankaracharya himself who enters the body of an 8-year-old boy and establishes the sannyas religion. Although, prior to him, the Buddhist monks also left their household and stayed in monasteries. Male and female monks used to stay together there. That is why they won't be called complete sannyasis. After this, the last part of the Kalpatri, that is, the Iron Age begins, when many religions and sects are established within a short period. And as a result of this, the human souls start to change from theists to almost atheists. In the end of the Copper Age and the beginning of the Iron Age, while on one hand, Prophet Muhammad establishes the Muslim religion in the Arab countries, on the other hand, Guru Nanak establishes Sikhism in India around 500 years ago. In the last 200 to 300 years of the Iron Age, on one side, Swami Dayanand Saraswati establishes the religion named Arya Samaj in India, and on the other side, Lenin and Stalin establish atheism or communism in Russia. Although the communist thinking had originated well before the arrival of Lenin, it was actually Lenin himself who obtained the ruling power at first. He brought an end to the rule of Tsars in Russia. Hence, he alone is the real founder of atheism. Apart from this, many small differences of opinions, that is, sects, were established in the Iron Age. Passing through the cycle of many religions from the Copper Age, human souls become devoid of celestial degrees, devoid of virtues, and almost atheists. Then, at the end of the Iron Age, the incorporeal Shiv himself enters the body of an ordinary human being, gathers chosen souls of every religion from the human world, and threads them in one rosary, after teaching them Raj Yoga. The Supreme Father, Supreme Soul says, I myself come and grant the pot of nectar of knowledge to the mothers and maidens of Bharat, who have been tolerating atrocities from the Copper Age. These very maidens and mothers, or the Ganges of knowledge, that is, the mothers and maidens possessing God's knowledge, and their partners, have been shown as the beads of the Vajanti Mala in the picture. The Supreme Father Shiv himself is present in this rosary in the form of the red flower, and the first couple beads are the mother and father of this world, that is, Jagdamba and Jagatpita or Prajapita respectively, who are doing their work in this world at present. In this rosary, apart from atheism, there are 9 main souls of the 9 main religions. They are the ones who become special helpers in the task of the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. This is why, though the followers of those religions fight with each other over the topic of various external ostentations, but each of them certainly rotates this rosary. Since atheism neither believes in the soul, nor the Supreme Soul, nor the knowledge narrated by him, they don't receive any place in the rosary. While the foundation of the ancient deity religion is laid by the incorporeal Supreme Father, Supreme Soul himself, the foundation of the other religions is laid by bodily religious fathers. Since the Supreme Father Shiv is the creator of this world, he takes the support of Prajapita, the highest among all the human beings, to lay the foundation of the deity religion. The other religious fathers take the support of other human beings one higher than the other, according to their individual powers. After establishing their religions, each religious father and his root soul are reborn again and again in their respective religions, and as soon as the confluence age begins, the root soul of every religion receives knowledge from the Supreme Father Shiv and becomes a Brahmin, meaning the son of Brahma, that is Brahmaputra. But the religious fathers of those religions receive the knowledge through these root souls at the end of the confluence age. They recognize him and obtain power from him. And when the root souls of every religion are present in the confluence age, definitely, the seed form souls who give birth to them are also present in the confluence age because the seeds are more powerful than the roots. In this confluence age, the Brahmin souls who consider only the basic knowledge narrated through Dada Lekhraj, the title holder of Prajapita Brahma, as the highest, and assimilate it, they themselves are the root souls. And those who, along with the basic knowledge, also understand and assimilate the deep knowledge, advanced knowledge narrated through Prajapita Brahma alias Shankar first of all, they themselves are the seed form souls. In this way, this picture of the Kalpa tree is a unique picture that contains the history of all the religions in the world. By recognizing it, the human souls obtain the inheritance of Mukti and Jivan Mukti from the Supreme Father Supreme Soul.